We have gone live on Facebook. So I'm going to do the introduction and then I'll bring you in. Okay, Sarah? So hi and thank you for choosing to join us today. As always, whether you're live or catching a replay, we appreciate everybody. We'll be talking all about kinesiology, muscle testing and energy medicine. We might even get a live demo of muscle testing to some degree anyway, so that should be interesting to say the least. I'm joined by Sarah. I hope I'm going to get a surname right here, Sarah Filleul.
Yeah,
she's a brand new guest on the show. I'll be learning with the rest of you guys as we go as to her background, knowledge and experience. Ladies and gentlemen, give a warm welcome to Sarah. Sarah, thank you so much for joining me.
It's a pleasure. It's so good to get this stuff out there. It's so important.
Yes, it is. I'm going to share this into the Empower You Energy Healing group. I wonder if you could start us off by giving us a little bit of your background, you know, when, why, how did you get into kinesiology and muscle testing?
Well, very quickly, my son, who is now 23, he's very intuitive. When he was 18, so I've only been doing this about 5 years. He came into my room one day and said, "Mum, you need to read this book." And it was David Hawkins' Letting Go, if you know David Hawkins. And it just blew my mind, the levels of consciousness, and he talks about the muscle testing. So I said, "Well, where can I learn this?" And I didn't know what it was called. I'm subscribed to Mind Valley. Donna Eden's class came up on the feed, and I thought, okay. So I bought it, started doing it. I just went, this is it. This is it. I found it. And then I was only doing it online. So then I thought, well, I need to do this. You need to learn muscle testing in person. That you can't really do it. You've got to have another body to practice on. So I somehow found it. And there was a course just starting in Dorchester, which is sort of 20 minutes from me. So I did the foundation in it, had a lot going on in my life, and then repeated it a bit later, and then COVID struck and blah, blah, blah. So then I did diploma, but I'm always studying it. I love it. And it's all about energy, because we're just energy. That's all we are. Without energy, we'd just be a pile of skin and bone on the floor, you know. We're all these millions of little cells, and each little cell has got a positive and a negative charge, and we're just tiny little batteries that we need to charge up with water and sunlight, pretty much, you know, and a bit of nutrition, and that's it. So when your energy's strong, you're strong in a nutshell, and it's fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating.
So what sort of time frame was it from when your son came into your bedroom to see you read this book to today? What sort of time frame? How many years?
About 5 years.
Right. So your progress has been quite rapid, to be honest, from the conversation we've just had before in the green room before we got live to where you're at and doing the client work you're doing, etc. That's quite rapid.
I got to be honest, I got obsessed. I have always got my book facing a book or researching, and I can't help it. It's like a drug. I'm addicted.
Good. It's a positive addiction to have anyway. That's the main thing. Yeah. So what can you give us, to go back to the beginning by way of definition, you know, what you see kinesiology or kinesiology, am I saying it right?
Kinesiology, yeah.
Kinesiology. What's the basic definition?
It's using your muscles as a biofeedback mechanism. We've got 9 energy systems in the body. The meridians and the chakras are probably the most well known. And each organ has a meridian attached. Each meridian runs through a set of organs. So you've got 14 meridians. You've got central, which is up the midline, governing, which goes down, and it creates what's called a microcosmic orbit. So it goes around, in between your legs, up your spine, and then round up the front, and then round. Yeah, so that's a microcosmic orbit that goes around the body, like in an egg sort of shape, or an oval loop. And then you've got 12 other meridians that are on both sides, and these are what they call bilateral, and they make up your circadian rhythm. I don't know if you know this. So you have the 24-hour clock. I've got a diagram, and each meridian feeds into the next one, and it has a 2-hour window that is optimum, and that is your circadian rhythm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but each of these meridians is connected to an organ, and also connected to the 5 elements. So you've got lung, you've got heart. Sorry, the 5 elements, which are wood, earth, metal, fire, and water. So this is traditional Chinese medicine. So, for instance, if I want to find an imbalance in the body, I'll find a strong muscle, which is usually the arm, and I'll test it with a yes question and a no question.
Yeah.
And then I'll touch.
Oh, good.
This is touch for health as well. So this is the wood elements. If I touch this area here, and then their arm goes weak, I know that there's an imbalance in the wood element. And the two, it's liver and gallbladder are the 2 meridians on wood element. So then I can ask, is it wood? Yes. So I know it's on the, sorry, is it liver? Yes. So then I look at then I test the liver muscles, and then to find out which muscle that imbalance is on. And then I ask, there's 4 realms. Is it structural? Is it chemical? Is it emotional? Or is it energetic? Sometimes it's 3 or 2 or 1 or all 4. Yeah. So then I know what the fixes are for those. So I do the fixes, find out what nutrition they might need, if they need some flower essences perhaps, do the fixes, and then retest, and that muscle should then be strong. So whatever was the imbalance, I brought it back into balance. And it's really simple, but it's complicated as well, because there's a lot going on in your body all the time.
Yeah. So are there levels to this, like level 1, level 2, level 3, for example?
There's, oh yeah, you can go on forever, to be honest, because I study, there's Eden Energy Medicine, which is Donna Eden, and she just works with the energy systems, which is really powerful. So it's a whole new, it's a different level again. And when you work with the chakras, so your chakras have 7 layers. And if they're not functioning, you're not functioning, and they should be lined up. And interestingly, when you're born, you come in the first layer, well, the deepest layer, which is the 7th layer, comes in with sometimes with ancestral stuff, but almost your soul path is in there. So if you ever have a proper chakra balance, Donna Eden style, and you get down, you clear off the layers, get down to the root layer, you can find, when you've tuned into the energy, you can literally find what someone's soul path is, because you'll feel it.
Mm-hmm.
It's extraordinary. And sometimes if you're working perhaps with the throat chakra, I had a lady come in and she's a singer, and I was working with her throat chakra, and I was just like, you can't help it. You're just like swaying. And I was like, oh God, I just really want to dance. And there's some music in the background playing. So it's so often, because everything is frequency, everything is vibration, isn't it? So we all hold this vibration in our aura, and our aura is color, and color is vibration. Our chakras are, well, if you can see them, they're color, but different colors are different vibrations. That's what the sky is. Apparently the sky isn't blue, but it's the vibration blue, if you see. Yeah, if that makes sense.
Cool. So what kind of miracles, in inverted commas, have you seen in your work? People who've,
well, I don't know. I don't know that they're miracles, but it's asking the right questions. And so this lady that came to see me this morning, which we talked about earlier, she has just been told she's got cancer, but when I tested her, the answer was no. And I tested her liver as well, and nothing showed on her liver. It was like, no, I'm not getting anything here. There's nothing here. And I literally muscle tested her to say, have you got, is there cancer? And the answer was no. And we did it repeatedly because she believed, when I said, do you believe it? She said, the test came back, yes. But when I said, have you got it? The test came back, no. So that's to be seen. That is yet to be seen when she goes back to the doctor and see what they say. But I have more faith in my ability. Well, it's not my ability, it's the soul's ability. That when you tap in, you're tapping into your higher self. I'm tapping into your higher self. I'm tapping into your energy. And it's your energy that knows, when you sit and listen to it, when you meditate and you're listening, that's your intuition, that's your inner knowing. And this is what energy medicine does. It taps into you personally.
Yeah.
So I don't know that I've worked miracles, but certainly there's a lady with Parkinson's who I've been working with and shown a massive difference in her energy levels. And yeah, she's a lot better than she was. So
But you're not supposed to be able to cure Parkinson's, mind, so you want to be careful.
Well, this is again, isn't it? It's the placebo effect. It's Joe Dispenza, it's Bruce Lipton, the biology of belief, and we create our own realities. There was a chap that I had who, oh God, he's so fit. He was in his 50s, and he would cycle. He would go off cycling on his racing bike. He'd be gone for 4 or 5 hours and nothing. He'd walk up. He was so fit, really fit, athletically fit. And he used to use an inhaler thing. And I say, what's that all about then? I said, you're going off and doing all this exercise. And I said, I couldn't find anything wrong with his lungs. Anyway, we got to the bottom of it at the end. And it turned out that he'd been told as a child, well, he'd got an infection as a child, and his parents had taken him to the doctor, and they'd said, he'd heard the doctor say to his mum and dad, your son is going to have chest problems or lung problems for the rest of his life. That's what he heard. So that's what he had. But he didn't have any problems. And he said, I go to see the specialist once a year and they can never find anything. So I said, well, why are you going to see the specialist? Well, because, and then we traced it back, because that's the beauty of kinesiology. We can also, I can muscle test a time in your life. So I can say, well, there's this trauma, and then I can muscle test you. So, for instance, I'll say, did this happen between the ages of 10 and 20 or 20 and 30? And then you just narrow it down until you get the yes response for the exact time. So we traced it all back to his childhood. And this is where it came from, because he'd been told, he'd heard his parents told that his son was going to have this problem all his life. And that's what he had.
I know I used to have asthma, and I would go and get my reviews, and they would do the flow test where you do the breath, and I could get it off the scale. And they were like, well, according to this, you haven't got asthma.
Yeah.
But yet I'd been hospitalised with it on more than one occasion. But it was weird. I mean, I don't use inhalers these days. I haven't for many years. But before we went live, you were talking about the cancer profile, the cancer personality, the cancer type. And I wanted to talk about that because I found that fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's, this just happened to be Gab. So what I find happen when you do the energy work, you become very in tune. So I knew my friend was coming to see me. So last night when I got into bed, I thought, just popped into my head, Audible, because I love Audible. I'd just quite like to listen to something. And I thought, Gabor Mate. And then it just comes in. Often I'll open a book. I'll ask for guidance. Like, this is a great one to do with books. If you've got books, lovely bookshelf, and you need something. So I stand in front of the bookshelf and you just ask for guidance. And I'll pull out a book, open the book, and there on the page is exactly what I need to hear today. It's a bit like oracle cards. They work so well. But with books, you get a bit more information. And it's such a powerful thing to do. So now I'll be focused on whoever is coming to see me. And I'll just ask for the answers, and things will come. They'll just show up in my life, whether it's a book, a podcast, or something. So it was Gabor Mate, put it on, and look at this. When the body says no. cancer personality. Okay. Had a listen. Well, I already knew this anyway, but it just because I've got so much information, but it's just like, oh yes, I remember this, yes. And it was her. It's her to a T. So it's suppression. It's suppressing the emotions. When we suppress our emotions, and for this was the anger thing. Because we're taught as children not to show emotions, and also as women, and this is not a sexist thing at all, this is just as women we're labeled hysterical. And I've had it. Oh, you're so hysterical. Oh my God, it's the full moon. Oh, well, this sort of, oh, is it your period? You know, all this sort of stuff that you just think, excuse me, what? You know, you're dumbed down, you're kept down, you're suppressed, and as children you are as well. So all of this emotion stays in you, and it has to go somewhere. It has to be, if you've read Michael Singer, The Untethered Soul, which I say to everyone, read, because it's amazing. He explains about energy. You cannot destroy energy, and emotion is energy in motion, emotion. So if you're feeling something, if you're angry at somebody and you don't express that anger, it stays in here. And anger is an energy. All emotion is an energy. So if you imagine that energy, the anger's come in, it's got nowhere to go because you've battened it down. It's in here. And you imagine you've got, what it'll do is it'll start to circle in the body. And it will settle in whatever organ. Liver is anger usually. You're venting your spleen. Liver is anger. It's wood element. It'll go round, around, 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 around. And you imagine that, somebody doing that to you for days, weeks. That's going to get really sore, really infected. It won't ever heal because the energy is just making it worse. It can't heal. But if you release it, boom, that's clear now. So that's got a chance to heal because it's not got this thing boring into it, which is the energy, because you can't destroy energy. It is a fact. You cannot destroy it. So this is what creates dis-ease. And initially there'll be something there. There'll be little warning signs, all sorts of little warning signs. And if you ignore the warning signs, as a lot of people do, it's just going to keep getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. You've got to listen to your body. And also people are very scared because they think, oh, have I got cancer? Ooh, ooh. And then they're afraid to go to the doctor and have it confirmed. So that fear then exacerbates it because that's more fear. So you're building upon the original fear, the original anger. So that's more energy in the body that isn't being expressed. You know, a lot of people keep it to themselves. They think, oh God, have I got cancer? And they don't even talk about it and they don't express it. So it's just piling, it's layers on layers on layers on layers. And eventually the body's going to go, oi, this is your wake-up call. Come on, sort it out. I mean, I did a huge clearing on her on Monday. I sent her some healing. And when I do healing, remote healing, sometimes it bounces back at me. And I did this healing on her on Monday, and it was really powerful. And on Monday, I was like raging. And I don't rage. But I had to walk for 3 hours to walk it off. And I couldn't shake it. And I was just, oh, stop. Went down to the beach. I was trying to ground it and get rid of it. And after 3 hours, I came back exhausted. And I thought, oh, God. And I felt a bit better. But it took me hours to clear it. And that wasn't my rage. That was hers. And when I talked to her about this, she went, oh, God, yes, I've got all this anger. And I said, we haven't any more. It's gone now. Cleared that. But it totally made sense to her. So she's been expressing all this stuff. But on the outside, she's lovely. She's calm. She's the most beautiful soul. She can't do enough for other people. She always wants to help other people. She's an amazing Kundalini teacher. She's lovely. And but she's not good at asking for help. She's not good at accepting help. She wants to be the strong one. There for everybody else, is our own worst enemy, you know, our own worst, hardest taskmaster. I've got to be perfect. I've got to be strong. I've got to be this. I've got to be that. Yeah. So on the outside, that's what she is. But inside, so she's not expressing anything negative. I dare not be negative, you know. I dare not show that I'm angry. I dare not be this. I dare not be that. So she's keeping it all in. And that's her to a T. But she's been like that since she was a child, probably. So all of this stuff gets expressed out.
Yeah, I can relate to a lot of that, to be honest. Not so much now these days, but certainly as a younger man, not that much younger either at times. But yes, so yeah, that's interesting. The psychology of a cancer sufferer. Yeah, it's sort of the body always has something to teach you, as you say. It'll get your attention one way or the other. It's obviously your call whether you listen or keep ignoring or keep or just learning to live with whatever the unresolved emotional issue is, or whatever it might be, until one day you can no longer go on. It's gonna get your attention one way or the other. So yeah, can imagine if doctors, the medical Western medicine practices use this energy medicine, this muscle testing, uh, underlying emotional issues. I have a dream.
You're very glitchy.
All right, can you hear me now?
Sort of.
Well, why don't you just talk about how wonderful it would be if you use this in? Can you hear me? You're confused. No.
You're glitching. You want me to talk about something? I'll just talk about the kinesiology.
Yeah.
Yes. So I recommend it. If you've honestly, the best way I find to heal is to actually go and do courses. So you can do the foundation. There's loads of different ones. There's the applied kinesiology. There's Touch for Health is amazing. And if you go and do a course in it and learn the basics, so you'll not only will you heal, if you've got issues, they'll come to light in the course. And because you're working with 6 or 10 other people, that you all practice on each other. So anything, I was very, very ill when I started this, and I didn't realize I had all these health conditions that the doctor was just no help with. But I had IBS. Well, I had IBS, but it turned out that I had a leaky gut. My ileocecal valve was out. I had a biofilm in my gut, which I'd had probably since I was about 18. And I was so depleted in nutrients because even though I ate well, I wasn't able to absorb the food and the nutrients properly because my stomach, my guts were not working properly. In fact, it was so debilitating, IBS, that I wouldn't even work for anyone else because whenever I ate, I then had to go to the loo afterwards, which was horrible. But also sometimes it was one day it was constipation, and it was diarrhea, and it was embarrassing. I felt embarrassed to disappear off to the ladies sometimes for an hour because I needed to go, but I couldn't go. And this was when I started training, this all came to light. And started doing this protocol to clear out it was a candida biofilm. If you know what candida is, it's horrible. And a biofilm is it's like the candida is in the gut, and then you get this. It has a biofilm. It does this little igloo on the top of it, and it's like plaque. So it's really, really solid. So doctors, if they find it, will say antibiotics, which don't work because antibiotics are what causes it in the first place, and that's what caused it for me. So I was taking things, uva ursi, turmeric, all sorts to shift it, and it took me about 3 months to shift it. But then I was so depleted in minerals and vitamins, literally I was just running on empty, and it took me probably 2 years to then stock back up on everything that I needed because I was so depleted. And I was drinking about 3 liters of water a day, which is far too much. You shouldn't be drinking that much. And always thirsty, getting up in the night to go to the loo, six times a night sometimes. So my sleep was being interrupted. So I was just knackered, so tired. And we found that I needed omegas because I was just thinking, oh God, well, this can't be diabetes. I'm fit, I'm healthy, I'm not overweight. What's going on? So it was omegas. And what happens is your cells, they have a little membrane around them, which had gone they'd gone crispy from lack of oil, because the oil keeps them permeable and soft, so that the liquid can go in and out. But mine was so dry that they were solid and they weren't letting the water in. So even though I'm drinking water, it's not going into my cells. It's just going straight through me, which of course then caused more problems. So I was permanently dehydrated. So I needed to take omegas. So I started taking omegas. It was starflower oil, I think. And after about 3 months, I finally was able to sleep through the night. I could reduce my water intake. It was just like, oh, thank God, you know, because I didn't know. And the doctors don't look at these things. They don't look at these things. B vitamins. Most people are deficient in B vitamins and magnesium. And I think when you have a blood test, magnesium doesn't show because it's not actually in the blood. But B vitamins are so key. And they're not in our food anymore. They're just not in the food because they're not in the soil, because the soil is so depleted. And if you eat a lot of carbohydrates and sugar, they deplete B vitamins. If you don't have B vitamins, enough B vitamins, you're going to be in a whole world of pain and a whole heap of trouble. So that's the beauty of kinesiology. If you go and see a kinesiologist, let's say, even if it's twice a year for a checkup, that will flag up. You need more B vitamins. So by taking the B vitamins, or you need omegas. So by taking these, you then prevent diabetes, all sorts, you know, all sorts of disease within the body. So it's a great tool for prevention rather than cure. It's better to prevent it. So having a regular checkup, which will take an hour, the most, once every 3 or 4 months, keeps you healthy, because it will flag up anything, any deficiency or any imbalance before it becomes something serious. And that's so important. You know, you put your car in for an MOT. So why don't you get an MOT every year, at least once a year, you know, just to flag it up. And it will check for things like metal toxicity. So most of us have got amalgams, for instance. Well, mercury is flipping heck, what that does to the body.
We have a question. Ian's asking. Hi, Ian, by the way, my mate Ian. Which are the best omegas to take? Do you have any general sort of recommendations without knowing Ian's body specifically?
If you look at Dr. Eric Berg as in iceberg, Dr. Eric Berg, he's got some amazing videos on this, so you can watch his videos on YouTube, and he'll explain all of this, the whys, the wherefores. Because you can take fish oils, but if you're vegetarian, you might not want to. So you can get like borage oil, starflower oil, plant oils. And you can self-test. If you learn to self-test, again, there's videos online for self-testing. So you don't, because if you consume lots of corn oil and the saturated, if you want to cook with coconut oil or butter, really. But you do need omegas. They're absolutely crucial for brain health as well, because again, as I was saying, the cells, your brain cells, need this lovely fatty membrane to function. So yeah, Dr. Eric Berg, type in Dr. Eric Berg omegas, and there's probably 10 different videos you can watch, but he'll explain it. And then once you've got the knowledge and you know why, then rather than just blindly taking things, and he'll give you the symptoms as well, because if you've got the symptoms, you can think, oh yeah, I do need that. BVITs, look at his BVITs one as well, his videos, because they're so in depth and they're so easy to follow. If you've got BVITs show up, or liver problems show up in the foot, believe it or not. So if you've got issues with your feet, you get really hot feet, really sweaty feet, really smelly feet, pains in your feet, that's usually a liver issue, believe it or not. But we're so complicated. I hope that helps, Ian. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, heavy metal toxicity. So that's a good one to test for. Mercury, aluminium, So if you've had amalgams, you've probably got mercury in your body, and you don't want mercury in your body, you know, because you'll end up mad as a hatter. That's why I used to call them, because they work with mercury, and that can cause Alzheimer's. It can cause so many things. Candida feeds off of mercury. Candida feeds off of sugar. Candida is huge at the minute because of most people have had antibiotics. Well, that will create a candida overload. And then you'll have digestive problems. You'll get, I mean, candida is like linked to cancer, fibromyalgia, and pretty much everything, actually, because it's a living organism that takes over your body eventually if you don't sort it out. So we test for all of these things. We test for leaky guts. If your ileocecal valve is out, that's not a good one. That happened with me, and it still goes out on a regular basis if I eat something I shouldn't eat. It's just such a phenomenal tool to have. But so if you want to do a course, I know it's all about money at the moment, but you will learn so much. Even if you just get the Touch for Health book, which is this one, Touch for Health. It's a brilliant book. And then John Maguire has so many videos again on muscle testing online. There's so much on YouTube. You can watch so many demonstrations. There's a lovely thing called injury recall technique, so the 3 most traumatic things to have in the body is root canal, ammogram, and a broken or sprained ankle. So I love doing this technique, and I show people you clear it, because the trauma gets stored in the body. So I can ask someone to touch where they've had their root canal, and I'll muscle test them. Now, it might not show in the clear, as we call it, so it might stay strong. But when you put your head in, put my head in extension like that, and it's relevant, the arm will go weak. So what I do is I do this while they're touching the root canal, and you've got proprioceptors in your neck that store the trauma. So you clear the trauma. And that's the beauty of muscle testing. When I retest, it tests strong. So what it does is it makes the invisible visible. Yeah. So you can actually, they come to you and they can see you have a before and an after. Because if you go to the doctor, they just say, well, this but okay, they might show you a scan or something. But with the muscle, if it's strong, that's all good. If it goes weak, and it amazes people. I'll do people. I just say, well, let me show you. I'll say your name. So I say, my name's Sarah. That's nice and strong. And then I'll say something like, well, now say I'm wearing a pink dress. Weak. And they look at me as if I've just performed a magic trick, you know. And it is like magic. It's amazing, absolutely amazing. Yeah.
Do you use muscle testing for anything other than the body, like for other questions in your life?
You can do. I don't. You can't really use it for the future, because the future can change. So that's a bit. I've tried it in the past, but as your thoughts and your energy changes, the muscle test changes. So I've literally asked for things like, should I move house or should I buy this? But a great thing is food. So if you know you want to eat something, I go into a supermarket and I'll pick something off, and I'll put it. You could put it in your sort of here in your solar plexus, and you do the you just ground yourself, keep an open mind, put it here. And before you do this, actually, you can do show me a yes. And you go forward, so you go towards it. If I say show me a no, then I go backwards. So if you put the food there, if you go towards it, yeah, it's good for me. If I go away from it, it's bad for me. Here I just stay neutral. It's just neutral. When I buy a mattress, I'll sit on the mattress and I'll use this one, which you can't really see, which is my leg. Hang on. This muscle, and I'll say Do I want this mattress? And if it goes down, then I don't want that mattress, for instance. And you can do it with shoes. You can put shoes on. You can put clothes on. You can do it with jewelry. You can muscle test anything, because everything has a vibration. Everything. And as soon as you put it in your field, your energy field, if it jars that energy field, it's not good for you.
Cool. Interesting. Yeah, what a fascinating discussion this has been. Is there any way people can reach out to you? Do you have a website? Do you have a Facebook page, a Facebook group?
Facebook. I'm on Facebook, but my website's in the making. I'm not very good at technology.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yes.
Is there any final thoughts you want to share?
I would say have regular checkups, people, just because doctors get it wrong a lot, actually. And your body can't lie. It has its own innate wisdom. So the muscle testing, it can't lie. It's a truth. It's like a lie detector. So, but you have to use it honestly. You can't sort of say, "Oh, is my husband cheating on me or something?" When you can ask that sort of thing, but you might not like the answer. Yeah, I've done it with or we do it with trees sometimes. My friend and I would go out. She's a kinesiologist, so I'll hook her up. Oh, you can surrogate. That's the other one. So surrogating's lovely. So I could get some hair from somebody's dog, for instance, put it on a body. The body becomes the dog. Or you can do it with young children that you can't really do muscle testing on. You get some of their hair or their blanket that's got their essence in, put it on another body, and that body becomes the child. So then you use that body as the child. It's quite amazing. It's really amazing, actually. And you can do it remotely as well, although I'm not a master of that, but I've got friends you can use your fingers to muscle test and ask questions, and it's huge, and it's only growing now because people are becoming more energy minded and raising their vibrations. So it's just going to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. And Einstein said it: the future of healing is energy, vibration.
Yeah, that's right. Well, if you want to contact Sarah, I'll tag her in this live stream post after we finished. You can contact her on Facebook, either reaching out in Messenger or whatever the case may be. If you're watching this on a replay, do post your questions, your comments, your feedback for us subsequently. Yeah,
I'm happy to answer questions if anyone wants to.
Yeah,
ask them on my.
You've been a pleasant surprise, Sarah. I wasn't sure what to expect. We've never connected before, other than in the odd Facebook post. So yeah, it was a lovely, pleasant surprise. Thank you so much for being a wonderful guest and sharing some of your heart and some of your expertise and knowledge. Thank you.
You're welcome. Lovely to meet you.
Yes, you as well, and thanks to the viewer for tuning in. Much love to you all. We've got another one of these on Saturday, but all that to come in a little while. Much love and bye for now.